even though I like never intended to make music or have your face blow up, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is my life. And I want to not take anything for granted. I feel like I become a different person when I'm on stage, and that person is someone that I really like. Sometimes I'll be reading books and I take forever to read one paragraph because it'll be like, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm putting my clothes up in the closet, and I have to envision the character brushing their teeth and like the different shots. Like if it was a movie, like, oh, it would be shot behind his head and he's looking in the mirror brushing his teeth.
Listen up. Today I am joined by Wisp. There is a big movement at the moment in shoegaze. There is a new sound that they're calling new gaze. It is shoegaze, but with a real pop-leaning melody. And this artist, Wisp, has been at the forefront of this movement for the last 3 years. She burst onto the scene with a debut song called Your Face. And since then, it has taken the shape of many, many lives. In fact, Rick Owens just used it in his last runway show. She has played Coachella, she has played Camp Flognor, you name it, she's done it. And again, it's only been 3 years. So she's joining me on the podcast today. We're going to hear about her rise into stardom and what it's like being a part of the shoegaze community. It is not an easy feat to be nailing it in that world. So let's get into it. This is Listen Up with me, Ash McGregor, and Wisp. Wisp, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Dude, you've had a crazy 3 years. You've only just been releasing music in the last 3 years, and you've done Coachella, Bonnaroo, Camp Flognor, charted many times. You've had the career that so many people look at and go, what the hell? How does it feel surreal?
Well, yes, but it's like so much at once. I mean, even though it doesn't feel like it, because 3 years is a long time for me.
You reckon?
I mean, not making music, but like 3 years, like the years in general.
Okay.
But so much has happened, and I feel like it's hard for me to catch up with everything. But it's at the same time so much fun. And I feel like I'm a very on-the-go kind of person. Like I love constantly doing things. So having all of these opportunities and being blessed to play festivals like those is like such a bizarre experience. And I've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah. And seeing fans in every corner is just astronomical. But also like I've loved seeing the headlines for you of, you know, she is one of the most exciting new voices in shoegaze, in the Gen Z revival of shoegaze, and these big sweeping quotes. And I feel like that's a lot of load to carry on your shoulders right now.
A bit. I think more so in the beginning of Wisp, because I did get a lot of backlash for, you know, being kind of a colonizer of shoegaze or like trying to change it into something that it's not. But I think I'm at a point now in my career where I'm like, I'm molding my own sound and I want to stand out in my own way and kind of be a voice in not just like the shoegaze community, but for like girls who want to make rock music. And
totally.
Yeah. So,
I think there was probably very few blueprints for you growing up.
Yeah. But I mean, I had a couple that I like really looked up to, like Sleeping with Sirens, and we had Paramore as well.
Yeah.
So seeing a lot of woman-fronted bands was like really good inspiration on me.
I can imagine. Well, let's go back to San Francisco, where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a music hub there? I haven't really known it to be one.
I think it is, but I didn't grow up in it because I didn't grow up going to concerts. I was like pretty sheltered and more, I guess, like academic driven as a kid. So I had like a 6 p.m., 7 p.m. curfew. I grew up playing violin, and I did dance for most of my life too.
What kind of dance?
Ballet.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you were like the model-esque young daughter who does, you know, that feels very traditional extracurricular.
Yeah, but it was fun. And I think that even though I wasn't involved in like the concert scene or like the more like emo or alt scene, I still discovered music through dance and through violin as well, because a lot of these classical pieces are still very important in my life. And it was just a way for me to like kind of like connect my art into different forms of media. So it was really cool.
So when did you start getting into more of the darker side of music, or, you know, shoegaze and stuff that's a bit more pessimistic in tone? Because it feels like you had this very feminine side of you, and now like shoegaze can be a bit more harder, less soft.
I discovered shoegaze when I was, I think, like 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I was making a playlist in school of all of my favorite alternative artists. And back then, my music taste was pretty broad. And I feel like most of the alternative artists that I listen to are all like super mainstream now.
Okay,
and
like
I still
who?
love them. Like, I was super obsessed with like Halsey and 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
And I had the biggest Melanie Martinez phase too. It was insane.
True.
Yeah. But after I like kind of stopped listening to that music, I discovered like older rock bands, I guess, like, I don't know, like dad music, you know? And I loved it so much. And from there on out, I like discovered dream pop, like Beach House and Cocteau Twins. And that's when I felt really connected to the music that I was listening to. And it started my dream of wanting to be in a band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you like, Mom, Dad, I'm going to be in a band?
Oh my God, I wish.
Do you remember having that sort of conversation with them at all?
I think that we had that conversation after like Wisp became a thing.
Yeah.
But growing up, I wanted to be an environmental engineer. So that's like what I had my mind set on.
Okay, can you explain to me what an environmental engineer is? Because it's something that it's one of those jobs that I hear a lot about, but I actually have no idea what it is.
It's like a mixture of like technology and biology.
Okay.
And the reason why I wanted to be an environmental engineer was because there was one time, I think I was like about 7 or 8 years old, my dad was driving us home from the grocery store, and I saw this beautiful sunflower being sprayed by pesticides. And I was like, why are they spraying the sunflower? And he was like, oh, so the bugs don't eat it. And I was like, do the bugs die then? And my dad was like, yeah, the bugs die. And I was so sad. I was like, is there a way to protect the flowers, but the bugs don't die too? And he was like, well, you got to be an environmental engineer to figure that out.
And you're like,
I was like, yes, I'm going to do that. So
you're
that
doing
was
it for
like
the bugs.
Yeah, that was my dream for the longest time. And I thought I was going to go to college for it. I took classes in high school for it. And I guess that dream kind of just like fizzled out, and I became less and less interested as I grew older.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that as you get closer to it, you start realizing what it actually involves, like the day-to-day of it. And maybe that's not quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because didn't Wisp take off whilst you were in university?
Yeah.
With Your Face?
Yes.
Can you run me through that whole era? Because I think that song is such a testament to, you don't need to have all the equipment to make the biggest song in the world, you know? Because that was just recorded on
my phone.
On your phone, Apple.
My Apple earbuds.
Earphones. Yes. Can you run me through making that track?
Yeah, I was in college majoring in computer science at the time. I went to SF State. I had decided to stay at a college near my house because I was scared of leaving my parents. I didn't know how I would feel like being away from them. And college, because I didn't live on the campus, was really sad. It was like super hard for me to make friends, and I hadn't joined any like clubs or sororities, so it was definitely difficult to like find my place. And I think that music, especially shoegaze, was something that guided me through those emotions and really helped me put them in check a lot of times. So when my friend had hit me up, he was like, hey, I'm like gonna write a song, like I really want to make music. But it's this like silly like rap beat that he found, and he was just like messing around with it. Like it was a sick beat, but he was just like having fun, whatever. And I was like, wait, that's such a cool concept, like just singing over something. So I had done the same thing, but I was like, I'm into shoegaze, so why not like find something like that? And when I made Your Face, it was just for fun, which is why I hadn't like played the guitar myself or like produced a lot of it. I mainly just mixed and mastered it myself, and I put it out for my friends to listen to, and they were like, wait, Natalie, this is really good.
This is low-key amazing. When did you do this?
So
were you mixing and mastering before this song? And
no, never. It was my first time.
What the hell?
Which is why it sounds kind of weird. It's like stylistic in a way that was unintentional.
That's the beauty of kind of not knowing too much, isn't it? sometimes you don't have to nitpick yourself because you're like, I'm just going off ear.
Yeah.
But do you think that having your violin and like a bit more of a classical training behind you helped?
I guess so. I think that knowing how to read sheet music and like knowing all of the different terms in music theory helped me when I'm writing in the studio. And also with like my pitch as well. So in that aspect, it's helpful. But besides,
were you much of a singer growing up?
No, not at all. I would always tell people like the only time I sing like everyone else was in the shower, and I would not sing anywhere else. Like even if I went out to do karaoke with my friends or something, I'd be too shy to sing. Okay,
so when you showed them the song, this would have been so left of field.
I guess so, but they seemed to like it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna like post it on TikTok for fun. And then it did its thing, and I was like, I can't believe people actually like the song.
So at that point, were you posting
really
much?
Sweet. Kind of. I was like posting sporadically here and there just for fun.
Yeah.
I hadn't used TikTok a bunch before Wisp started, so I was getting the lay of the land and like thinking about different TikTok ideas, feeling like I was this like influencer all of a sudden. Nice. So yeah.
Yeah, it would have been crazy to then overnight just have so many eyes on you.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, is this going to become a real thing?
Yeah.
Did you have to have that conversation with yourself of like, do I follow this or is this just a once off?
Yeah, I remember so vividly like buying groceries at Trader Joe's one day, and I just started like spiraling. I was thinking in my head like, do I even have the ability to continue doing this? Like, am I talented enough? Like, do I have the right support system around me? And it was a lot for me to think about because I knew that this was what I've wanted to do my whole life and it felt so right. But I have always struggled with like a lot of self-doubt growing up in all of the extracurriculars that I've done, like swimming and ballet and violin, and not feeling like I'm good enough to be the best at something. And I'm a very like competitive person. I want to be good at something. So when Wisp started, I was like, okay, I either have to put a bunch of time into this and make sure that it's perfect, and I guess not perfect, but like make sure
You're
that
proud of it.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. And I ultimately decided that like this was an opportunity that I can't give up, and I don't think anyone in the world would give up on. So I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to continue doing music. And I just put a lot of faith into myself, and having my parents' support really helped as well.
Yeah. What did that look like? Was it you finding a studio or like working with Grace Guys? This is your producer, right?
Yeah.
Was it when you made that active step, what did that change look like for you? Quit uni.
Yeah, quit uni. But I mean, there is so much going up to quitting college, because I feel like the very first step that I made towards my music career was taking all these business calls by like these sharks in the industry that I had no idea about. Like I didn't even know the difference between an A&R and a manager in the beginning. And these guys were throwing like, numbers at me like $10,000, $50,000. And at the time I was like, oh my God, this is life-changing. $500, that's life-changing to me because I had no money, So hearing those numbers, I was like, okay, you have to be smart. Like I was researching stuff about the music industry, how to navigate what these meetings would be like. And then I met my manager and everything became a lot easier. And
So how did you know your manager was the one?
Well, I met her through this A&R that I had talked to at Columbia Records, and I just felt like her, I don't know, she's so confident and like sure of herself. And I feel like that is an energy that I do really well with, because I'm kind of the opposite sometimes, and it's hard for me to speak up for myself or find that self-confidence in like really putting my foot in the ground. So having her be there as that like pillar of support in my music career from the very beginning was super crucial. And I feel like I've gained a lot more confidence just being around her, because she's so reassuring and she tells me like how worthy I am of everything and how hardworking I am. So.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Wow. And you really are the sum of the people that you spend your time with.
Yeah.
And aren't you lucky to have found her at the very beginning stages instead of going through, because it is with management as well.
It's difficult.
It's like getting a therapist where you have to date a couple to find out if they're the right fit.
Right, exactly.
And to have found someone right off the bat that you absolutely gelled with and know that they have your best intentions at heart feels very rare. Yeah. Especially when you've got so much buzz around you.
Yeah, it was intimidating for sure. But I feel like I got so lucky. The people that I met right away, I just clicked with. And I'm like, every day I'm like, I'm like so blessed to have these people in my life, because my guitarist, Max, he was one of the first producers that I worked with in LA. And going into the studio session with him, I was so scared because I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't confident in my songwriting abilities quite yet. I didn't even pick up a guitar until 3 months into making music with him. And there was one day where I had like picked up the guitar and I like played something. He was like, "What? You play guitar?" And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah. But I think I just like get so nervous about things, at least in like the beginning of Wisp.
Do you think it was just imposter syndrome?
Probably. I think it's a mixture of that and also like being very cautious about what I'm doing. And I think that my manager and Max especially really helped me break out of my shell. And now that I've been producing and writing music in studios for over 2 years now, I feel so much more sure of myself and the sound that I want to encapsulate for Wisp.
I know you're a person who rarely takes a day off. Like you're in the studio most days of the week when you're home, right?
I try my best to. That's how I was in the beginning. But I think now because I tour so much more, once I get back home, I'm like, keep the music away from me. Like I want to sleep in. I want to be with my cats. I want to hang out with my friends. But yet when I moved to LA, I like didn't have a group of friends. It's so difficult making friends in LA. I'm like a very, I don't know, like reserved person sometimes. And I try my best to be energetic. And I think that when I try to do that, it comes off as like almost like insincere in a way where I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be like that. I'm like, I just want to be your friend, you know?
I think that's so natural moving to any big new city as well, is just trying to find your tribe and in a city that is so business oriented.
Yeah, especially in music.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go out and be like, oh, you make music, I make music, we should be friends. I wanted to build genuine connections in LA. So through the past couple years, I've made a really great group of friends there. And I think now that I do have a group of friends, I'm a lot more lenient with my schedule and I allow myself to relax more, which I think is very important when touring is such like a high stress thing, but fun at the same time.
Totally.
So.
And to make music, you have to have lived your life.
Yeah.
You can't, you've got nothing to write about if you're sitting in the same four walls every day. That would have been a crazy transition for you, having in the space of within the year, move out of the family home. Now you've got a whole team around you watching you and trying to build you up, and you've got deadlines you need to meet, and you've got all this pressure. You got fans that are in your DMs, and you have to navigate living in a whole new life and then figure out what your live show even looks like.
Yeah.
As someone who, you've had to train on a world stage. You didn't get to like cut your teeth at the local bars and play.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that's like something that I try to remind myself of every day, because there are so many artists out there that I love and adore and have been listening to for so long that deserve to be on bigger stages and deserve to be playing like arena tours, you know?
Shout them out if you want.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I'm like, crap, who am I even talking about right now? But like even like my friends' bands, like back at home, Luster is this band that I had done a studio session with the very first day that I arrived in LA, and they're the sweetest guys ever. But alongside them, there's just so many people that work so hard at their craft. Max as well, my guitarist, he's the hardest working person that I know. And whenever they succeed in something, I'm like, I feel like it's like almost like my success as well, because I feel so connected and like so happy for them. But being able to like skip some parts in a music career that normally people have to go through is like as stressful and as scary as it is. I think that it's something that everyone wants, you know? So even though I like never intended to make music or have your face blow up, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is my life. And I want to not take anything for granted and put a lot of my time and energy and love into Wisp and just make sure that I'm making the most of it.
Yeah,
So.
you do seem like a person who is all in or nothing, and that you're not just half-assing it. And like, how shitty would it be if you're someone with this opportunity and they're just like giving it half a go? Like you're someone to watch from afar and go, well, at least she's making something of it and is pouring her soul into this. What was it like having the discourse around you by the purists of shoegaze?
Yeah.
I think there's a great trend at the moment, new gaze, the Gen Z alternative of shoegaze and dream pop, and it's becoming quite a beast, and there's so many incredible bands coming up in that space.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that, but then having a genre that's so pedestaled by so many people who have grown up with it. How have you felt having some of that weight on you?
I know that shoegaze means a lot to people, and they have grown up with it even before I was born, you know?
Yeah,
so
me too.
Seeing this like new wave of shoegaze music can feel, I don't know, like we feel weird with things that we're unfamiliar with. And I totally understood it in the beginning. And it even made me feel like, oh shit, like, am I doing something wrong? Or like, should I be going in a specific direction? But I, had time to think about it and had time to really like just let myself sit in my emotions and be like, why am I getting hate? I'm so sad. To be able to understand that I make music for myself. I love the music that I make. And even if that purist community or the community that has been around for shoegaze longer isn't super accepting of me, there's a whole other new community out there and like other fans that have not even known what shoegaze was until recently that love and support me. And so instead of fixating so much on like the negative side of things, I need to be looking at all of these other doors that are opening for
100%.
me. So I don't know, I feel lots of love nowadays, and I think that everyone will always have their own opinions. I think that they're all valid. But yeah, I don't know. I love shoegaze, and I definitely, attached myself to that term early on in my career. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, I just make music. And it's just music.
And also like as an artist, there is a world in which your sound evolves.
Yeah.
And people will come along for the ride, and maybe you won't be in this space in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
And you could be doing something completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be an electronic artist by 3 years' time.
Shoegaze means a lot to me. And I'm so grateful when people are saying that I'm like carrying this torch for it.
Yeah.
But I love so many other genres of music, and I love experimenting and meshing different genres with each other. So I guess only time will tell what I make. But
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And also that's what comes with art. Like art is an expression of self.
Right.
And people can take it or leave it. And at the end of the day, that's all you need to care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to fit into one box. And I think the conversations around, about genre purity, and this happens across every genre, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's like that gone are the days that people just do that.
Yeah.
And I think we live in such a fractured world. Like there's no monoculture anymore that you're allowed to be in a slasher.
Yeah.
Well, I'm for it.
Thank you.
What I'm saying.
That's very
there.
sweet. Thank you.
How did you find starting to doing live shows?
I love it
You
so
love
much.
it?
I think that it's my favorite part of this career, to be honest.
It should be.
I don't know.
It's where you get to see the community.
Yeah. I feel like it might be like a very naive thing to say like, oh, I love touring. I love playing shows, because people that have been doing it for so long get tired of it.
Yeah,
and
fair.
there are so many hardships that come with being on the road, being around the same people constantly, being away from your family and your own bed. And some people are just built for tour. Like my guitar tech, he's been touring for so long and he's just so hyped. Like he just wants to be on the road constantly. And I'm like, I love your energy. It's great.
We need more of him.
Yeah. But besides writing the music, obviously, I love playing live shows.
Yeah.
And I think it mainly comes from ballet and how I'm, used to playing for other people, like dancing for other people. I had like rehearsals and competitions growing up, and I loved being on the stage and even being backstage with my fellow dancers, playing games and like talking with each other, gossiping, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I become a different person when I'm on stage, and that person is someone that I really like.
Oh, that's really sweet. Having the alter ego.
Yeah.
Of like someone that you aspire to be. Do you ever think about why am I not that person in my everyday life?
I think that being on stage gives me this form of confidence that is like so bizarrely like out of reach, or at least it feels like that to me because everyone is watching me. I feel like I'm in my element. I feel like a superstar, you know? And I kind of describe performing as like being on a drug that no one will ever have unless they perform on a stage as well.
100.
But I don't know. I think that as time goes on, I feel more and more connected to who I am as Wisp and me as like Natalie myself, because I'm playing more shows and I'm, you know, feeling more comfortable in my own skin even when I'm off the stage too. So I guess it's something that just like takes time.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like with stage banter?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, I think that everyone has such unique stage banter, and the best way to have really good stage banter is just to be yourself. Because if you're like awkward, or if you have like a quirky personality or whatever, people love seeing it. Like they love it so much. It's very endearing. Even when you're like super shy, I think it's like super sweet, and it shows the crowd that you're human as well.
Yeah.
So I try my best to just be myself. I never think about what I'm going to say on stage. I just go off the rip, and people seem to enjoy it. So I'm like, okay.
Do you ever think back to early shows and be like, oh God, she had no idea what she was doing? Or do you?
Kind of. But I think that's more so because I was like a lot more timid in my movement on stage. Whereas now I'm like dancing and moving around more. And it's a lot more fun when you move around because it's like exercising. Music and singing and performing is a sport to me. And you need to warm up. You need to like hype yourself up. And that's definitely something that I had not known in the beginning of playing live shows. So.
Okay, so what's the Wisp warm-up then?
Wisp warm-up?
Yeah, run me through it. How are we hyping up?
I do my vocal warm-ups, obviously.
Okay.
I feel like those are crucial.
What type do you do? Everyone's different?
I do like the lip trills, like the like all of those ones. And then I go, no, in the scale. And I just like unclench my jaw and I like move it around and stuff.
All right.
And then what else do? Usually I'll have like a song that I play before I go on stage that calms me or hypes me up depending on how I'm feeling. And me and the band do this like 3, 2, 1, Wisp. And then we all go in. We just added this, but all 4 of our hands go in and do this little like thing.
That's great synergy.
Yeah. And then we all fist bump each other. We have like little rituals. Like Max will always make sure my volume knob on my guitar is turned up. Just like little things like that. But
that's really cute. Do you have to give them like the hype pep talk as the team leader?
No. I feel like we're so used to playing shows now where we're like, we got this. Like very confident that it'll be a good show.
Sounds like Max is a real guiding light in your life.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, and having someone like that on tour is just the rock that you need.
Yes.
Because being so nomadic is so hard, and everyone becomes
really needed. Yeah,
you become such a bubble. Like there's no outside world except for what's going on in tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Has that been an interesting transition with you and like family and having a place back in LA? You know?
Yeah. It's for one, I hate paying rent when I'm on tour because I'm like, I'm not home and I have to pay rent. What the heck? But with the family stuff, it's like. It's really difficult. I mean, I text my mom as much as I can almost every day, my brother and my dad as well. But having a crazy sleep schedule on tour and going to all of these new cities and experiencing new things, I'm like, crap, how am I supposed to keep up? What pictures do I send them? Like, what do I tell them? There's so much to tell them. So in that aspect, it's very easy to feel disconnected from what's back at home, like my friends and my cats even, and just like being in my house, because when you're on tour, you're missing birthdays, you're missing holidays with your friends. And once you get back, you're like, so what happened, guys? Like, what did I miss? And most of the time you've like missed a lot. So you kind of have to take more time when you're back at home to rebuild that like connection kind of and make up for lost time. So.
Yeah. Wow. It is a lot to think about, isn't it? And it's such a whiplash as you've gone away and done something that's so different to normal life as well. So for them as well to catch up on your end, it's like there's such a disparity, and I imagine there would be like this teething part when you get home. But that's what makes music so good.
Yeah.
Is having all those experiences.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your album, If Not Winter.
Yes.
Beautiful album.
Thank you.
This is one that you dropped last year, and there's so many incredible stories. Black Swan is my favorite.
I love that song.
That's
I'm
my
so
favorite.
glad
Even
you
from
said
the
that
beginning,
one.
like the first, I don't know, 8 bars, you're like, oh, it's just incredible, and I really love it. Can we talk about the story behind Black Swan?
Sure, yeah. Black Swan was actually like a super last minute addition to the album, because I think my album deadline was around like, let's say it was like April 17th or something. And I had written Black Swan on maybe like an April 12th. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
I'm surprised you were writing new music at that point.
Well, the thing is that I felt like the album needed one more song. And I think my label felt similarly too, because they were really pushing me to go to a studio session with Kraus, who produced Pandora as well. So when we made that song, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it yet. But then we reworked it. I redid the vocals and I was like, I love this song. This is exactly what the album needed. And I think it was the perfect round off to even the themes that I write about, because a lot of the album is so based in like my relationships, my romantic relationships, my feelings surrounding like people that have left my life. And Black Swan was one of the few songs on the album that was just about me. And I wrote it about my insecurities, especially being in a public light and having all of these eyes on me. I feel like it's easy to feel constantly judged. And as much as I try to not pay attention to what people say online, or even like the nice things, you know, like when people post pictures of me, I'm like, oh my God, why do I look like that?
You caught me at the worst moment.
But it's like little stuff like that that really builds up, and I guess like kind of gets to me in a way. So Black Swan was me talking about how, you know, sometimes it's like just a bad feeling. Yeah. So. But
it's all very human. I mean, if you're getting comments on you, as you would feel, you'd have to have the thickest of skin.
Yeah.
What's your favorite on the album?
My favorite on the album? I think for enjoyment, Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first track?
Yes. I love Sword.
Why that one?
I wrote that one with Alden and Gabe, and it was my 4th ever session that I had done with Alden, who's a hyperpop producer. So going into these sessions, I was so shocked at how well they were going. And
you just expected them to be not good.
Did not know what I was expecting, but I was definitely not expecting what had happened, because we, you know, clicked instantly and it just felt so natural. I remember telling my friends and my manager, like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. Like, I have been praying for someone like this in my life that can bring my ideas into a different kind of light that maybe I would not have thought of, you know? So getting to work with him was really sick. And Sword was a song that I had brought back home once we finished it, and I just kept listening to it over and over. And usually when I listen to a song over and over, I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. And Sword, I just never got tired of. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the crowd has resonated with that as well at the live shows?
Yeah, I think it's a very high energy song because it's so punchy.
Yeah.
So I love performing it, and I think the crowd really enjoys that as well.
Totally. It is a way to kick off the album, that song. You're like, oh, we know what we're in for. This is great.
Yeah.
Is it true that the title is after a Sappho
Yes.
poetry?
The poetry collection, If Not Winter.
Yeah.
Fragments of Sappho.
Fragments of Sappho. How'd you get into that?
Actually, my manager sent me the book. Yeah, I had been asking around or just talking about books in general with her, I think. And she sent me a couple recommendations. So I ordered it on Amazon. It came, I flipped through the book and I was like, wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah,
and I started
feel like it's not one that heaps of people in my life have read.
I know, which they're missing out because it's
homework.
Great. She's great. I started bringing the book into all my studio sessions. And when it came time to write lyrics, I would just flip through the pages and just like find little tidbits in it that inspired me, not even in a sense of like, oh, I can use this word that she used, or like I can take this imagery from like her specific writing. It was more so like the emotions that her writing evoked in me, where I was like, oh my God, this poem is making me feel this kind of way. Now I'm going to hold on to that emotion and write about it.
Is there a song that comes to mind when you say that?
If Not Winter.
Oh,
If Not Winter, the song.
That's fair enough. The title track.
Yeah.
That's a really great way to use like, what do you call it? Not inspiration, like contextualize things and bring it into your world.
Yeah.
You feel like you're someone who's constantly reading and constantly looking for inspiration in the world?
I try my best to. I think that reading is a great way to find inspiration for writing lyrics because every author has such a distinct writing style.
Yeah.
And the metaphors that they use in books always inspire me so much. Like right now I'm reading, I'm like blinking on the name, but I forget the name. Anyways, it's a good book, but
what genre are we talking?
It's fiction.
Okay.
And there was this metaphor that he had used about these aster flowers and how he believed that the aster flowers looked beautiful on like a plain field, but when he had them in a garden, like confined in a little space, he didn't like them anymore. Huh? And I was thinking about that and I was like, that's so beautiful. Like, I think that diving deep into books and the amount of detail that an author puts into their writing, even if it's on a single page or a single paragraph, it's so beautiful. And writing music is just like that. Like I want to be very detail oriented, which I feel like I could definitely do a lot more of on my next album. And I want to treat it like I'm writing a book. So
is there a world in which you would release a book alongside the album and be like the lyric
That's
book?
my dream. I would love to do that one day.
Okay, so what are you working on right now? You were already working on the next album?
Not yet. Well, I guess kind of in a sense of like shaping it and what I want it to sound like and look like. For song-wise, I'm going to start writing right when I get back from tour.
There's no break. Straight in.
But throughout this whole tour, I've been, kind of brainstorming and making inspiration boards and writing out a story of what symbolism I want in the album and how I can show that with like different like physical things, So like whether it's like a house that symbolizes something or a specific animal that I want my album to be surrounded by. So I wrote this like whole story with characters and a setting, even like as far as like the styling and like the kind of areas that I want to shoot my music videos at. I have like panned out.
You've like built the whole world.
Yeah, I like really want to get into world building and just making sure that people are almost like transported into my album when they listen to it.
Totally. Are there artists that you look at that you admire that part of them?
Ethel Cain.
Oh, of course.
My favorite.
Yeah.
She means so much to me, and her music just like it does something to me where I'm like, why do I feel this way right now?
Yeah.
And I can be happy, I can be sad, and I listen to her music and I'm like, I'm neither happy nor sad right now. I'm just feeling Ethel Cain.
I'm just
feeling her.
And I'm just feeling Wisp. That's so gorgeous.
Yeah, but I really look up to her world building, which is why I really want my next album to be more narrative driven. And I want a concept to be super solidified from the very beginning because what she did with Willoughby Tucker, I think is a masterpiece. And I feel so attached to like her characters and the story surrounding it. And I think it's just so fun too. Like not a lot of artists do that nowadays. And I want to be one of the ones that explore that kind of side of it.
Totally. And I think there's a lot of artists that are in the business of burning and churning through music and pumping it out, and there's no world in which they can. But if you're someone who has that, I look at you and I go, that is incredible that you have that skill to be able to visualize everything so well. That's something I struggle with. I'm an audio-based girl, and that's why sometimes the videos.
That's good sometimes too. That's really good, because sometimes I'll be reading books and I take forever to read one paragraph, because it'll be like, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm putting my clothes up in the closet, and I have to envision the character brushing their teeth and like the different shots. Like if it was a movie, like, oh, it would be shot behind his head and he's looking in the mirror brushing his teeth. And it just like runs.
Directing the whole thing.
It just like runs through my brain the whole time. So I'm like a pretty slow reader when it comes to that.
That's so, wow. It's so
the colors and everything. Like,
yeah, right. No, well, yeah, I think I can visualize, but I'm just, it's all murky, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And I punch through it. I had like a poetry background before I got into
so
radio.
Cool.
And I used to do slam poetry that was very narrative driven slam poetry, kind of comedic shit. I don't know. You can look it up online. But I look at it and I go like, it's so childlike. Whereas I think yours is so, your frontal lobes developed this world building. Even in the album, like the album you listen to, you go, this could be in Twilight. Like it's so mystified and cozy.
Thank you.
But also so expansive at the same time. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what this Pinterest board looks like and everything you've got.
I'm excited.
But I don't want to spoil it for myself either.
Well, it's kind of similar to like the Sword music video. I'm keeping a bit of a medieval vibe, but in a very different, I guess like color palette. I don't know.
Ooh, medieval vibe.
I love me a good medieval movie.
Would we see you on a violin at any time?
Oh my God. I haven't played violin in so long, and that instrument kind of scarred me because I was like, I hate violin. I'm never playing it again. And I think a lot of like the self-doubt and like insecurity that I had from the beginning of Wisp came from my experience with violin, because I played at my school's orchestra and I did like private lessons as well. So I'd like play at like churches or like weird venues or whatever. Yeah. And I was first chair violin the year that I started orchestra.
Oh, you went straight to first chair.
First chair, then the next year, second chair, then the next year, third chair. And I was like, there's always someone better than me out there.
And they're always younger.
I was just like, whatever. But after I quit violin, that's when I started playing classical guitar. And I feel like that's something that I want to incorporate more into my music. But violin would be cool too. I'm open to that.
Back. Maybe this could be a healing process.
Yeah, exactly. Or learning a new instrument would be really cool too.
Okay, if you could learn one, what would it be?
Harp.
I was gonna say, and why is it harp? That would be incredible.
It's just such a beautiful instrument.
Yeah. And then bringing it into the shoegaze world would be something
so sick.
else.
Yeah. Like imagine playing harp on stage. It would just really also like fuel into this world that I'm trying to build, because if one day I have like the budget to create like a castle or like have candles on stage, a harp right in the center.
And
perfect.
Then you sit down at it. Oh. Well, I can't wait. And Wisp, thank you for coming on this podcast. This has been so lovely to get to know the whole backstory. And I'm excited to see what you build out over the next year.
I appreciate it.
I think next tour, once the next album drops, there'll be this like Chapel Roan-esque castle on stage.
Yes. Hopefully. Crossing my fingers.
It'll be great. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.